everyone, and welcome back. Today is all about saving our Mexican sunflower seeds, and this was my first year growing them from seed, and I actually used it with my winter sowing milk jugs, and they did phenomenal. Now, this teeny tiny seed, I can't believe how tall the plant got. It's actually so tall right now that it did collapse when we had a bit of a windstorm. It was super tall. It actually reached the gutters of my first story, which I thought was insane because this was just such a teeny tiny seed. I definitely want to start them again. I will be planting them in the same spot. It gets so much sun, and it was so pretty to look outside the window. And this time what I'll do next year is use some T-posts to help, because they'll be a little bit taller, so it can hopefully keep them a little bit more upright later into the fall. So we are going to be saving this seed. It's super simple. I have been letting some just dry out so we can harvest them today. So let's head on over. Now, as we turn the camera around, this is my poor Mexican sunflower. As you can see, it did bend a lot when we had a big rain and windstorm. But the bees are still absolutely loving this flower. They have been happy as can be. And what we're gonna do today is find some of these dried out flowers, and we're gonna save seeds from it today. Now, as I mentioned, we did this in our winter sowing milk jug. This is actually only 4 plants, and it went all the way up to the gutters, and I was so bummed when I came home one day, or I woke up one morning and it was completely collapsed over. But as you can see, it is still producing. The bees are still buzzing around and loving it, so I just wanted to leave it. I didn't want to cut it down, and I definitely wanted to save some flowers. So we're going to find some dried up ones, and then I'm going to show you how I save the seeds. They're super easy, and then you can use them again next year, saving you some money and not having to buy one extra seed packet. All right, so these are the ones that we are going to be going for. I'm just gonna have a cup and just snip it in, because I'm sure a bunch will be falling out as I am doing this. And we're gonna go around and see what else we can find. All right, I found another one right here. So we're gonna cut that one into the cup. And I have some up higher that I'm gonna have to try and find. Oh, and here is another one right here. All right, so we were able to get 6 heads off of the plant. There were more, but unfortunately I couldn't reach them. And I think this will be plenty. So I'm going to lower the camera down so you can see how simple it is to save them, and then we will store them for next year. All right, so I'm just going to be using a simple Dixie bowl. You can use a plate or a paper towel, anything that works. I do suggest using gloves because these are super prickly, and I like to just gently rub to get the seeds out, and so you don't poke yourself. The gloves, they really do help. So there's one crushed, and there's actually a bunch in the cup, and even with the glove, this actually is still super prickly. And I'm going to show you the difference between a viable seed and one that might not survive being planted out as well. So I'm just going to keep crushing it up, and then I'll find one for you to see. All right, we have all of our seeds in here. It's going to be mixed in, so I'll definitely sift through it, but I wanted to show you what you are looking for. So hopefully this will focus. But these darker seeds right here are going to be your Mexican sunflower seeds. And you can tell that there's something in it by when you squish it. There is definitely some substance to it. Whereas this one, when I squish it, it just smushes right like a pancake. So those are not gonna be viable. So you want ones that when you squish, you can feel something inside is going to be firmer, and those are the ones that you're going to be saving for next year. So it's as simple as that. And just like that, in a few minutes, we were able to save some seeds for next year. And what I like to store them in is these little seed envelopes. They come in many different types. You can get ones that are just plain without any of the seed types or variety, but I just like this to stay organized. So it'll say seed type, variety, and then when you harvested them, then notes as well. So I'm going to be storing them in here, labeling and sealing them, and keeping them in a cool, dry, dark place until I'm ready to plant them next year. And I definitely will be winter sowing these as well. I plan on starting a lot more flowers. They were actually really good for cut flowers as well. They didn't have the best vase life, but it was nice to have them on my counter. My daughter absolutely loves them just because of how soft the stems are, and I would let her pick them whenever she wanted. So that way she felt like she was making bouquets as well. So those would always be on our kitchen island every single week. So I hope you found this helpful. It was nice and quick, and we'll be saving more seeds to come in the next few weeks. So go ahead and click like and subscribe and hit that bell button, and I'll see y'all next time. Happy gardening. Bye.